Datta Sri Guru Datta Jai Guru 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 Datta Sri Guru Datta.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha, Harihi Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Hanumate Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hostess Ravita Singh. Unfortunately, Rishi couldn't be here today, but on behalf of both of us, Swagatam and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Paramapujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Datta Ji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Pujya Shri Dattaji, as this program, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him. Please join his second-in-command, Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji now in worship.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Bhuyuta Shri Hari Chinnhitabhyam Agastya Rekhadibhiranchitabhyam Nigodha Bijakshara Mudritabhyam Namo Namah Sadguru Padukabhyam. Ganapati Gurumekam Satchidanandarupam Vibhudhanivahasevyam Yogamargadhirudham Sharanamupagatanam Sanghadrivajram Mama Hridaya Nivasam Bhaktinamro Namami Bhaktinamro Namami.
Once again, everyone, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's episode of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Ramlal Educational Institute of number 12 Exchange Lots, Couva, Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58 to 60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, and Coquier Supermart Limited of 14 Naparima Mayaro Road, San Fernando. Last week, as the story of Srinivasa Kalyanam continued on Datta Arpanam, you heard the story of how, in a previous life, Padmavati Devi was Vedavati. And just to remind you, it was Vedavati who was taken to Lanka by Ravanasura. The demon Ravana had actually kidnapped Sita Devi, but when he was on his way to Lanka with her, Agni Purusha appeared and tricked Ravana into thinking that the one he had kidnapped was Vedavati and that Sita Devi was safe with Agni Devata. Ravana, who had deceived Lord Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita Devi by orchestrating the scene with the golden deer, that Ravana himself was now the one being deceived. Falling for the fake news given to him by Agni Purusha, Ravana insisted that Sita Devi, or at least the one he now thought was Sita Devi, be handed over to him. Agni Purusha handed over Vedavati disguised as Sita Devi to Ravana and took Sita Devi into his and Swaha Mata's care, thereby accomplishing his goal of rescuing the real Sita Devi and keeping her safe. But don't feel that Vedavati was blindsided by this trade, a trade which resulted in her being taken to Lanka and being kept hostage by Ravana. As we often see in such scenes in our scriptures, there was a backstory to this. You see, Vedavati was a very pious soul who had undertaken great penance in the hope of being rewarded with marriage to Lord Srinivasa. Back then, Ravana was obsessed with her and kept trying to force her hand in marriage. Vedavati eventually channeled her yogic energy into creating a fire and then entered that fire. But before doing so, as you heard last week, she warned Ravana that she would be the cause of his death. The extent of Vedavati's penance ensured that no harm came to her when she entered the fire. Agni Purusha, who had been a witness to Vedavati's piety, kept her safe and had informed her back then of a great venture she would be required to support in the future. That great venture, as it turned out, was to ensure that Sita Devi was kept safe and out of the hands of Ravana. When the one everyone thought was Sita Devi was rescued from Lanka and subjected to the fire test, while only one being entered that fire, 3 beings emerged from it. Vedavati, who was the one who actually entered the fire disguised as Sita Devi, Agni Purusha, and the real Sita Devi. At that point, Agni Purusha vouched for the chastity of Sita Devi and informed everyone present that Sita Devi had never actually been taken to Lanka by Ravana. Agni Purusha explained to all who were gathered there that before Ravana could get to Lanka, a switch was made between Sita Devi and Vedavati. For this huge sacrifice made by Vedavati and to reward her penance done in the hope of marrying the Lord, Agni Purusha then asked Lord Rama to make Vedavati his second wife. But even though Lord Rama's earthly father, King Dashratha, had 3 wives, Lord Rama, during Rama Avatara, had vowed to take only 1 wife. And so he promised that he would marry Vedavati in her next birth. Lord Srinivasa, who was narrating all of this to Vakula Devi, explained that Vedavati was now on earth as Padmavati. The Lord confessed that he felt a deep and divine love for this Padmavati and he wanted to marry her. Vakula Devi, who was none other than Yashoda Mata during Lord Srinivasa's Krishna Avatara, Vakula Devi immediately set off to try to arrange the marriage of Padmavati to her son, Lord Srinivasa, whom she called Krishna. En route to the palace, she met attendants of the Princess Padmavati, and after hearing from them the story of what had happened when Lord Srinivasa and Padmavati Devi met, she asked them to take her to Queen Dharani. As it turns out, Padmavati's parents, King Akasha and Queen Dharani, had been expecting someone related to Lord Srinivasa to turn up at the palace. And just to remind you of why that was, well, when Lord Srinivasa, a stranger dressed as a hunter, had proposed to Padmavati Devi, her attendants had tried to stop him from holding Padmavati's hand by throwing stones at him. This resulted in the Lord sustaining many physical injuries. Padmavati, who was deep down deeply moved by the Lord, fainted when she saw the Lord's injuries. When her father called a Daivagnya or an astrologer to tell them what was wrong with the princess and to seek advice on what to do to help her, the astrologer told them that Padmavati was in love with someone and that a relative of that person would soon arrive at the palace. He told the king and queen that if they did as that visitor said, all would be well with Padmavati. The Daivagnya also told the king and queen that in the meantime, they should have Shiva Abhishekam done by 11 Purohits or 11 Pandits, as this would also help in Padmavati's well-being. And it was at the temple where that Abhishekam was being performed that Vakula Devi met Padmavati's attendants as she was on her way to the palace. Last week's episode of Datta Arpanam ended just as those same attendants were about to take Vakula Devi to meet Padmavati's mother, Queen Dharani. So, where will today's story take us? Well, stay tuned in to Datta Arpanam to find out. But first, having recapped last week's episode, let us get today's episode started with the worship of Lord Ganapati. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or visit the website www.bhajanmala.com, enter Bhajan ID number 6 and join in paying obeisance to Lord Ganapati. This bhajan starts with the word Vande. That word Vande means I bow down to or I revere. So listeners, I encourage you, throughout the bhajan, or at least each time you hear that word Vande, to please bow your head. Pujya Ganapati Swamiji or Pujya Datta Ji has said that while singing bhajans, we should bend our heads a little or close our eyes because these simple acts help us to reach another plane. Of course, if you know the words to the bhajan, you can close your eyes and bend your head. But if you need to look at your Bhajan Mala app for the words, then consider bending your head as a mark of surrender, a mark of humility, a mark of respect, as we all join now in singing the bhajan, Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram.
Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Papagram Parameshwaranka Vasatim Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Papagram Parameshwaranka Vasatim ब्रह्माणमाद्यं विभुं वन्दे प्रश्नगणेश्वरं विधिनुतं गौरीसुतं भास्वरं गौरीसुतं भास्वरं पापग्नं परमेश्वराङ्कवसतिं ब्रह्माणमाद्यं विभुं ब्रह्माणमाद्यं विभुं
वन्दे प्रश्नगणेश्वरं विधिसुतं गौरीसुतं भास्वरं गौरीसुतं भास्वरं
वल्लीनायक सोदरं सुरुचिरं योगप्रदं हस्तिनं वल्लीनायक सोदरं सुरुचिरं योगप्रदं हस्तिनं वन्दे
प्रश्नगणेश्वरं
विधिनुतं गौरीसुतं भास्वरं विद्यावारिधिमर्ककोटिलसनं श्रीसच्चिदानन्दितं
विद्यावारिधिमर्ककोटिलसनं श्रीसच्चिदानन्दितं वन्दे प्रश्नगणेश्वरं
विधिनुतं
गौरीसुतं भास्वरं
Because Kapi Ragam has such wonderful healing potential, whenever bhajan set to that ragam is played on Datta Arpanam as a just was, it feels important to point out that that was the ragam. Problems with the larynx or the voice box and problems with the thyroid gland can improve by daily listening to Kapi Ragam. It does not mean that you do not take your medication, but if you take your medication while listening to this ragam, that improves the efficacy or how well the medication works for you. Even if you listen at some other time of day, so when you are not taking your medications, this healing ragam can, over time, help ensure good health of the neck and the structures contained within it. Even tech neck, a condition which results in many people nowadays having neck pain, arm pain, and tingling or pins and needles from their arms all the way down to their hands, even tech neck responds to daily listening of Kapi Ragam. Listeners, nowadays, the reason tech neck is so common is because our heads are always bent looking at the computer, our phones, and tablets. But it should come as no surprise that Kapi Ragam can help alleviate the symptoms of this common modern-day phenomenon. When prior to Ganapati Dattaji's present-day incarnation, Lord Dattatreya himself told Mata Jayalakshmi or Puja Dattaji's mother that he, Lord Dattatreya, needed to take up an avatara to help mankind to cope with modern-day problems, then why should we be surprised that such help is all-encompassing? Pujya Sri Dattaji or Datta Tataji is not only a modern-day incarnation of the aspect of Lord Dattatreya, but he has come down to earth, to our level, to help us to cope with living in this age of Kali. To such a compassionate one, who for our sake was willing to take on the karmic burden associated with taking a human form, sincere gratitude and pranams are again offered. Jaya Guru Datta. You are listening to Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this morning's offering, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Dattaji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. As we prepare now for today's contemplation upon Srinivasa Kalyanam, please join in worshipping Naranarayana Maharishis, Goddess Saraswati, and Sage Vyasa. Narayanam namaskritya naran chaiva narottamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. In today's recap of last week's episode of Datta Arpanam, you heard that Vakula Devi told Padmavati's attendants, who were watching the Lord Shiva Abhisheka being performed, that she needed to speak to Queen Dharani Devi. She then asked the attendants to please take her to the queen. The attendants, seeing that this was an elderly lady, agreed to help her, reminding us that we too should be readily willing to help the elderly. But the attendants also agreed to take Vakula Devi to the queen only after the Abhisheka was performed. In that temple on this day, for the well-being of Padmavati Devi, 11 Pandits were performing Abhisheka to Lord Shiva while chanting Namaka and Chamaka and singing the glory of Lord Shiva. Pujya Dattaji has said that doing 11 Abhishekams is not an easy feat. Some people get worried at the thought of having to do it even twice. But, says Pujya Dattaji, while Abhisheka is in progress, it is wrong to complain of backache, numbness of the legs, pain in the legs, the coldness of the floor, or hunger. It is also wrong to ask how long the Abhisheka is going to be. Pujya Dattaji has instructed that when Lord Shiva Abhisheka or Linga Abhisheka is going on, instead of focusing on worldly matters, we should focus on the Lord. So, as we have reached a point in the story where Shiva Abhisheka is being performed, let us bring our focus to Lord Shiva and sing his glories. The lyrics to the bhajan Naga Bhusha Nada Tosha can be found by entering bhajan ID number 1229 on the Bhajan Mala app or website. Pujya Dattaji has said that this bhajan was composed spontaneously when he was in Kashi or Varanasi in the Sannidhi or the presence of Lord Vishveshvara, or in other words, when he was in front of the Vishveshvara Jyotirlingam. This song is my life, said Pujya Dattaji. That is why I do not sing it often. Lord Shiva's life force is in this song. It is an Upadesham song. Because it was composed in the presence of Lord Shiva, it is full of his essence. I saw the lyrics being written by Lord Shiva himself using the serpent as a pen, said Pujya Dattaji. You can find this bhajan, Naga Bhusha Nada Tosha, on the Namarchana Telugu album by Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. If you listen to this song, said Pujya Dattaji, you will become a devotee of this song and of Lord Shiva. Listeners, having heard that Lord Shiva himself gifted this bhajan to Pujya Dattaji, that took place at a very holy site in the presence of a Jyotirlingam, that the bhajan contains the essence of Lord Shiva, and that this song is Pujya Dattaji's life, please join now as you bow your heads as we heard earlier and beg Pujya Dattaji, the present-day incarnation of the combined aspects of Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, to accept this musical offering. Once again, the bhajan ID number is 1229.
Nagabhusha Nadatosha
నటితరోషా నమక భాషా నాగభూషా నాదతోషా నటితరోషా నమక భాషా నాగభూషా నాదతోషా నటితరోషా నమక భాషా त्रिपुरनाश धीमहि त्वां त्रिपुरनाश धीमहि त्वां त्रिपुटिपाश त्राहि धीश त्रिपुटिपाश त्राहि धीश गरळकण्ठ गानलोला गरळकण्ठ गानलोला कलुषजालं क्षाळयेश कलुषजालं क्षाळयेश कलुषजालं क्षाळयेश नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा विवद चर्मो पात्तवस्त्र विवद चर्मो पात्तवस्त्र विकटमाया ध्वंसशस्त्र विकटमाया ध्वंसशस्त्र त्रिदिवगङ्गोल्लासि शीर्ष त्रिदिवगङ्गोल्लासि शीर्ष त्रिभुवनीकारुण्यवर्षा 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 नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा ललितजूर्ते लिंगमूर्ते ललितजूर्ते लिंगमूर्ते ललितकीर्ते लास्यपूर्ते ललितकीर्ते लास्यपूर्ते निटलदृष्टे ध्वस्तमोघा निटलदृष्टे ध्वस्तमोघा निबिड सच्चिदानन्ददेहा निबिड सच्चिदानन्ददेहा निबिड सच्चिदानन्ददेहा नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा नागभूषा नादतोषा नटितरोषा नमकभाषा नटि रसिकरोषा नमकभाषा नागभूषा नागभूषा नागभूषा
Pujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Datta Ji has said that singing that bhajan for a recording was very difficult for him because that bhajan is, as you heard earlier, his life. Yet, for our sakes, he did that recording. And listeners, that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what Pujya Datta Ji will do for the sake of uplifting not only devotees, but even persons who are not yet devotees. How can we ever repay the debt we owe to him? I doubt we can, but what we can do is to imbibe the qualities which make him happy when he sees them in us. Let us practice non-injury or ahimsa. Let us practice control of the senses or indriya nigraha. Let us practice compassion for all living beings or sarva bhuta daya. Let us practice forgiveness or kshama. Let us practice peace or shanti. Let us perform austerities or penance or tapas. Let us engage in meditation or dhyana. And let us always practice truth or satya. When we do these, that is a much more effective way of showing gratitude to Sadguru Deva than simply saying thank you. The bhajan to which you were just listening was sung by Pujya Datta Ji here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this morning's Hour of Devotion, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Datta Ji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. So far today, we have not really delved into the continuation of the story of Srinivasa Kalyanam, so let us try to do that now. You already know that Padmavati's attendants and Vakula Devi witnessed the Lord Shiva Abhishekam at a Lord Shiva temple which was near the hermitage of Agastya Muni. The attendants had a beautiful, blissful darshanam, and now that it was finished and the arti was finished, they got ready to leave. Part of their duty, as per the advice of the Daivagnya, was to take prasadam from that Abhishekam to Padmavati Devi. So now, carrying that holy prasadam, they, along with the Pandits, set off for the palace and invited Vakula Mata to join them. By the time the entourage reached the palace, however, Dharani Devi was occupied, and so Vakula Devi and the Pandits were asked to wait until the queen was available to see them. But during that time, Lord Srinivasa got anxious, wondering whether or not Vakula Devi would return with positive news. The Lord decided to take action. He disguised himself as a female fortune teller. His Kaustuba gem turned into a beaded chain. Other jewelry, including his gold bracelets, also turned into beaded jewelry in keeping with how a fortune teller of the time would dress. The Lord's golden anklets changed into copper anklets. His crown transformed into a basket of rice, and on his back, a 7-month-old baby appeared. Whatever is going to happen, I tell it as it is. Whatever is not going to happen, I tell it as it is. I only repeat what the hill god says. Repeating this again and again, Lord Srinivasa, in the guise of a female fortune teller, entered the city of Narayanapuram, the capital city of King Akasha's kingdom, and started walking towards the palace. Dharani Devi, happened to hear this fortune teller's announcements, and she noticed a change in Padmavati's facial expression. She wondered if Padmavati had also heard the fortune teller, and if this is what brought about some expression in the unconscious Padmavati. Dharani Devi felt that the arrival of the fortune teller might be some sort of divine intervention. She wanted to hear what this fortune teller could tell her about the reason for Padmavati's disturbed mind, and then she planned on carrying out any remedial measures recommended by the lady. Remember, Lord Srinivasa was disguised as a Pulindi woman or Pulindi fortune teller. Dharani Devi ordered the royal attendants to invite the Pulindi into the palace. But before we hear what the Lord, disguised as this Pulindi woman, said to the Queen, let us pause for a Devi bhajan. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or website to Bhajan ID number 331 and join in singing this beautiful Devi bhajan.
O Papa, ma Papa, tugu Papa, Papalu anta pogoti, ma Papalu anta pogoti. O Papa, ma Papa, tugu Papa, Papalu anta pogoti, ma Papalu anta pogoti. O Papa, ma Papa, tugu Papa, Papalu anta pogoti, ma Papalu anta pogoti. O Papa, ma Papa, tugu Papa, ma Papalu anta pogoti. O Papa, ma Papa, tugu Papa. Jo kotti kottiamu, o Papa, Papa, Papa. Jo kotti kottiamu, o Papa. కోటి వచ్చావు ఓ బాబా, జో కోటి కొట్టాము ఓ బాబా మా బాబా. జో కోటి కొట్టాము ఓ బాబా, కోటి వచ్చావు ఓ బాబా. ఓ బాబా పూగించు ఇయ్యాల ఓ బాబా, యోగం పులట్టి గట్టి ఓ బాబా. పూగించు ఉయ్యాల, పూగించు ఇయ్యాల ఓ బాబా, పాపా పాపా మా పాపా. ఊగింది ఉయ్యాల ఓ పాపా, ఊగింది ఉయ్యాల ఓ పాపా, యోగం పులటి పెట్టి ఓ పాపా. ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాపా, పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి, మా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి. ఓ పాప మా పాప పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి, పాపాలు. ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాపా. రాగంపు పాడ్యాము ఓ పాపా, రాగంపు పాడ్యాము ఓ పాప మా భవ రోగంపు మాయమయ్య ఓ పాప 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 రాగంపు పాడ్యాము ఓ పాప భవ రోగంపు మాయమయ్య ఓ పాప మా భవ రోగంబులు మాయమయ్య ఓ పాప 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 ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాప మా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి మా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాప నాలుగు వేదంబులో పాప నాలుగు వేదంబులో పాప తుగెతాడులయ్య ఓ పాప నాలుగు వేదంబులో పాప తుగెతాడులయ్య ఓ బాబా నీ నీడ ఉంటాము ఓ పాప మేము నీ నీడ ఉంటాము ఓ పాప సచ్చిదానంద నీవు ఓ పాప సచ్చిదానంద ఓ పాప ఓ పాప ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు బాబా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాప మా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి మా పాపాలు అంతా పోగొట్టి ఓ పాప మా పాప తుగు పాప తుగు పాప తుగు పాప.
Listeners, when we begin a day with such divine compositions, it is a blessing. When that day happens to be the first day of the week, then what an extra special blessing that is. You were just listening to the voice of Pujya Ganapati Datta Ji as he sang that self-composed bhajan here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this Sunday Sandhya morning hour of contemplation and worship, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Datta Ji and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. In today's story, you heard that anxious about whether or not Vakula Devi would succeed in arranging his marriage to Padmavati Devi, Lord Srinivasa assumed the form of a female fortune teller and secured an audience with Queen Dharani, Padmavati's mother. Once she was with the queen, she started talking about incidents from the past and future. Remember, while outwardly she looked like a tribal fortune teller, the fortune teller was in reality none other than Mahavishnu. So of course she knows everything that there is to know about the past, present, and future. The fortune teller told Queen Dharani that when Padmavati went to the garden to play with her attendants, she happened to meet a handsome person who was none other than Mahavishnu of Vaikuntha. That Vishnu, who arrived on the mountain, is called Venkatadisha, she said. He is popularly known as Srinivasa. Your daughter thought he was an ordinary hunter, and because she did not identify his true form, she instigated her attendants to beat him. Afterwards, when she realized who he was, or when she recognized him, she was deeply saddened and fell unconscious. The fortune teller also revealed to Dharani Devi that Padmavati had fallen in divine love with Srinivasa, and that it would be good for the kingdom, the king, the queen, and Padmavati if the wedding between Padmavati and Srinivasa was performed. If not, cautioned the fortune teller, Padmavati will die in 3 days' time. But, said Lord Srinivasa in the form of the fortune teller, if the wedding is performed, the entire kingdom will be prosperous. The fortune teller urged the queen to wake Padmavati after she left and to ask her herself. She is pining for the Lord that she has seen, said the fortune teller. Please make that alliance happen. The fortune teller also explained that an old lady sent by Srinivasa would approach the royal family. The queen was instructed to follow the old lady's advice and to act accordingly. Remember, up until this point, Vakula Devi and the queen have not yet met. Vakula Devi is at the palace, still waiting to meet the queen. And listeners, unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep you waiting as well. Waiting for the continuation of this story, which will take place on next week's episode of Datta Arpanam, starting at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, right here on 103.1 FM. For now, though, having experienced the divine Leela of Lord Srinivasa, let us join in worshipping that Lord. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or website to Bhajan ID number 1578 and join in singing Vedanta Put to Song.
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मरकट हरकत छोड़ो
मरकट हरकत छोड़ो
मरकट हरकत छोड़ो
मरकट हरकत छोड़ो
मारुति भक्ति साधो
मारुति भक्ति साधो
मारुति भक्ति साधो
मारुति भक्ति साधो
रे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
कर्म रीति व नीति समझो
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 नीति समझो
नीति समझो
कर्म रीति व नीति समझो
कर्म रीति व नीति समझो
कुटिल कर्म से दूर रहो
कुटिल कर्म से दूर रहो
कर्म का फल हरि अर्पण करके
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 काल प्रकोप विमुक्त बनो
काल प्रकोप विमुक्त बनो
काल प्रकोप विमुक्त बनो
काल प्रकोप विमुक्त बनो हे मन हरि गुण तुम गाओ सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ हे मन हरि गुण तुम गाओ सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ
राम नाम रस पान में डूबो
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 रमता जोगी बन जाओ
रमता जोगी बन जाओ
रमता जोगी बन जाओ
रमता जोगी बन जाओ
अवध में राम लला को देखो
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 सच्चिदानंद सुख पावो
सच्चिदानंद सुख पाओ
सच्चिदानंद सुख पावो
सच्चिदानंद सुख पाओ हे मन हरि गुण तुम गाओ सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ हे मन हरि गुण तुम गाओ सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ हे मन हरि गुण तुम गाओ सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ
अरे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो रे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो अरे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो अरे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो अरे मन हरि गुण तुम गावो
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ
ए सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पावो
सुख दुख समस्थिति को पाओ
Yet another musical gem taken from the Sri Venkateshwara Vaibhavam album by Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. Listeners, you are all urged to download that beautiful album, which is filled with musical tributes to Lord Srinivasa. That way, even though it will be another week before we meet again, you can continue to revel in the bliss known as the glories of Lord Srinivasa. For now, though, I must begin to wrap up today's episode of Datta Arpanam. Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Datta Ji and Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance, and music, this program would not exist. May they forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and may they guide all involved in this production to avoid such errors in the future. Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, an extra special thank you is extended to you for sharing this devotional hour with me. If you would like to listen to today's program again, check out the Datta Arpanam Facebook page, where later this week the YouTube link for today's episode will be shared. Once again, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music, and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Dattaji. Jai Guru Datta, Shri Guru Datta, Harihi Om Tat Sat.
वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि कुमार रूपा मां पाहि गुह शुभ नाम मां पाहि कुमार रूपा मां पाहि गुह शुभ नाम मां पाहि कृतिका पुत्र मां पाहि षण्मुख देवा मां पाहि कृतिका पुत्र मां पाहि षण्मुख देवा मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि शूलायुधधर मां पाहि शैलग्रस्थित मां पाहि शूलायुधधर मां पाहि शैलाग्रस्थित मां पाहि कालातीत मां पाहि बालाकार मां पाहि कालातीत मां पाहि बालाकार मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि क्रौंच विभेदन मां पाहि क्रौंच विभेदन मां पाहि चञ्चलतापक मां पाहि क्रौंच विभेदन मां पाहि चञ्चलतापक मां पाहि सच्चिदानन्द मां पाहि सद्गुरु रूप मां पाहि सच्चिदानन्द मां पाहि सद्गुरु रूप मां पाहि अरे वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि जय वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि हे सेना नायक मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि कुमार स्वामी मां पाहि कुमार स्वामी मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि वल्ली वल्लभ मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि सेना नायक मां पाहि ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्